having strength to be able to go, I'm not into that. It takes strength to say that to friends, and porn's becoming so normalized now that strength is required more.
Well, here's the thing. When people hear that it's normalized, it's women are doing it, men are doing it, there's still a enormous stigma and taboo around it. Even though statistically speaking, most people we know very well watch porn and masturbate. So what is going on here? Like, why is it that it's so hard for people, right? I mean, like we talk about men frequently, right, having porn addiction, but it's very clearly a women thing too.
And it's a very small percentage of women right now, but it's growing on a daily basis.
It is growing.
Next generation is going to be different than this generation.
Yeah.
And there's one word there, shame.
Shame. I was thinking the same thing. Yeah.
It's shame. And Chris Rock in his new series, I don't know if you saw it, it's funny, but he's like, I was addicted to porn. This is what he says. And he's like, I know what you're thinking. It's a $20 billion industry and it's just me. You know what I mean? Because like he's the only one, very few people.
That's what actually rubbed me the wrong way, is because, like Jada Smith's, Will Smith's wife had admitted, I think a year ago or so, about her porn addiction. And then Terry Crews, Russell Brand, all these people that come out and talk about their past porn addiction. And then all of a sudden, everybody kind of pinpoints them as like the porn addicts. And they kind of label them as the strange people that had a porn addiction, Billie Eilish. But the reality is, like, most people in Hollywood, statistically speaking, are also struggling, right?
Oh, totally. And that's what I think so funny about, Chris Rock saying, I know it's just me because I'm the only one willing to admit it.
But this is a question I want to ask you, actually, is I think the reason for that is that a lot of it's the shame, but also the reality is a lot of people underplay and downplay how addicted they are. Right?
They might not understand, actually. And I think people downplay it once they know, but like, I actually think they don't totally understand.
Yeah.
Because this thing is so tricky. And this is what intrigued me and terrified me about porn. This is why I had to tell the world, because I was helping someone who I care about. And I saw how crazy this thing can be firsthand, like literally deep in it firsthand. So, people don't know, because this is the way I kind of talk about it, that this is a transformational journey. And so it really is a transformational journey from ego, which is like a false self that is developed as a protective mechanism. And if you can take the journey, you transform out of your ego orientation, which is based in fear and taking and pleasure and pain. And you can transform yourself and become on purpose your true self, who is here to serve and to give and be connected and be part of the community, not isolating. So the problem is, when you're stuck in your ego, you have no clue about what's going on with you. Your self-awareness is so low. Your understanding of your patterns and your programming and what you have going on. And I've seen this firsthand, not only with my friend, but with the people that I help. And I've seen it shift in all of these people too. So like early on, it's really hard for them to see they're actually addicted. People, how it involves denial, rationalization, minimization, all of the Isings, rationalizing it, saying, it's really not that bad for me.
Right.
Russell Brand, that guy could be addictive and not me.
Yeah. So what do you say to that when someone says, oh, it's just occasional, it's not an issue, it's healthy? Like, what would you ask them?
I firmly believe in no, there is no such thing. It's like an occasional heroin habit, because it does almost the same thing to the brain. So you can't occasionally use heroin and be okay. That's not a thing. And the reality is, like, getting back to the brain stuff, but also trying to keep it simple, is that when you discover pornography and masturbation at a young age, we know this from the science, it plants the seeds of addiction, and it hijacks the reward center and the frontal lobe in the brain. It literally stunts the development of those brain areas. So if you continue to water the seeds of addiction, it grows. It has no choice but to grow. And even if you're watering it occasionally, you're still moving in a downward spiral, not an upward spiral.
Right.